find a way to talk about this, but I'm honestly just stumbling in the dark, so sorry, but I don't know how else to say it, so I'm just gonna have to get to the point. You need to let it out. Whatever it is. Whatever you're holding on to. Whatever you're not telling me. Whatever's going on in that head, I can't watch you do this. This shutting down, pulling away, and pretending that nothing's wrong. Because you're not fooling me. And worst of all, I don't even think you're fooling yourself. The person that you want to fool more than anybody else, and I understand. Honey, I understand. Okay? Confronting this stuff is so hard. Especially when you've been told what you've been told, and no, listen, Amy, if you don't want to talk about the past, that's fine. I won't make you do that. I don't want you to feel that you can't tell me. Or yourself. Okay, I know I said I wouldn't go there, but honey, the way your dad raised you, I'm not attacking him, he is so traditional, and we don't live in a traditional world anymore. I mean, that's good, right? I just mean that you don't have to feel ashamed of anything. Whatever it is you're worrying about or agonizing over or holding back from, listen, it's okay. It's all okay. You can feel whatever it is you're feeling. No. Sweetheart. You don't have to be afraid. Look at me. Baby. Look at me. I'm not trying to bash your dad. I don't want to attack him. He loves you. I'm sure of that. He is a product of his time. And you're not from that time. You're from your time. Our time, and heck, we got a lot of stuff wrong, but we got some things right. We can talk. We can always talk. You and me. Hmm? You told me that yourself. You're always there for me. Always. So let me be there for you. want you to be alone with this. You don't even have to tell me what it is. You know, I know this is hard for you. Okay? We can go at whatever pace you want, just... Please don't keep it inside. Because you're hurting yourself. I know you've been taught that that's what strength is. To keep it in, to keep it buried, to make sure nobody knows, but... Honey, that's not what strength is. Okay? Strength is talking. Strength is sharing. Being brave enough to be vulnerable and weak. To let somebody in. It's only for the brave. If you're not strong, you can't share. If you're not strong, you can't love. And you can love. I've seen it. I've felt it. More than anything. You love me like no one has loved me. You made me feel safe when no one else ever did. You made me feel strong because I could tell you everything. I could tell you about being anxious or making mistakes or just flat out being pathetic. You did that for me. And you are strong enough to let me do it for you. You always talk about how much you admire your dad. How he's a good guy. A role model. A man's man. A strong man. And you know what? I'm sure that's all well and good. I like your dad. He's funny in his own cynical kind of way. He's dependable. And he's honest. But you know what? I would never choose him over you. Even if I didn't know you that well. Even if we didn't have this. Because I don't want a man's man. I don't want a strong man, whatever that means. just want a man. I just want a man. A real man. A kind, honest, flawed, real man. I don't want someone who can't trust me. I don't want someone who hurts themselves and calls it strength. I don't want someone who self-sabotages. I want someone who can be real. I just want real. I just want you. I just want you to be real. Because you deserve to be. You deserve to know that you deserve it. You can tell me anything. Even if you think it's gonna hurt my feelings or defend me or scare me, you can tell me. You can tell me. You can tell me. I'm not your dad. And more importantly, neither are you. You're you. You are smart, and you are kind, and you are thoughtful, and sensitive. And strong. You have a strength that your dad will never have. Okay? That generation of man will never have.
Ever since I was a small boy, I had always dreamed of landing on the moon one day, just like Armstrong did all those years ago. I spent all my life doing anything I can to make that dream come true. And after years and years of hard work, I sat there in my capsule, ready to be the first man to colonize the moon. On that fateful day, I was very eager to be part of another great leap forward for humanity. And so was ground control. The countdown starts. 4, 3, 2, 1. Houston, we have liftoff, I reported to ground control. Dawn turned to dusk. Days turned to weeks. And weeks turned to months. During the venture, I tried to adjust my ship to the right direction. But after all that coordination, communication, and verification to ensure success, I missed my target. This is Komarov to ground control. We have a problem, I reported nervously. What is your problem? Replied ground control. I looked at my partner, then to the capsule window. After some brief silence, I replied, We seem to have missed our target. Immediately, ground control responded, This is ground control speaking. We need you to abort your mission as soon as possible. Ground control's response was delayed, but when it was received, we had prematurely used all the fuel in the wrong direction. And after who knows how long, here I am in my capsule, all alone, drifting through the universe. Wherever I am, or wherever I'll go, is unknown for my knowledge. I've just about passed Sedna. It's like a celestial Groundhog's Day. It feels as if I have been gone for days, years, or maybe even centuries. Does ground control remember me? Do I remember myself? What is my name? Have I become the stranger my parents warned me about? If I come back home, will anyone recognize me? Could I be more isolated back home than where I am now? Where even am I? The sun has been seemingly blocked from something of a mysterious shape in my view. Where am I? Who am I? Do I even exist anymore? Maybe I've died a long time ago but was completely unaware. Could this be the afterlife? So many stars, planets, galaxies, nebulas, and many unknown things are out there. Yet it seems surreal. Maybe a god could be on one of those planets. Or maybe the stars have been the true gods all along. It might as well be the afterlife, for I have already drained my supplies. This appears to be the end of the line, or rather, the end of the galaxy for me. Am I approaching the edge of the universe? I've been floating for so long that I might have stumbled into a new solar system. If only I could report back to ground control. I can see my life before my eyes. Everything I've loved and I despised, all shown before my eyes. For the ones I can't repay, I would say goodbye if I had just one more day. And to those who I've betrayed, I'm sorry for the pain, but I'm a million miles away. There's a door at the end of the universe. It's very tempting to find out what lies on the other end, but my lungs may sink flat. Will people remember when I die? Will I be a name to be feared in history? Or just another casualty in the game of life? I really don't have a choice, do I? Well, whoever finds this, or if anyone finds this, I hope I at least made a worthy scientific contribution. For I will never know if my sacrifice was in vain or not.
Sticks and stones broke my bones. 10th of August, 1916. I was promised to be home by Christmas, but here I am lying blind in the trenches of Verdun. Wave after wave we come and come for the slim hope of victory, but to no avail. May the gods above save my brother's soul. I lay here in the filth and flies of the trenches, marching side by side. I've almost used all my rations, and it's been only a month since the war started. The artillery shells fire one after another, bombarding the trenches as the poor bastards on both sides pray for victory. I've seen the horrors after they raid the trenches, my brothers dying one after another. The bullets tear through the thin flesh like scissors cutting paper, and the guts spill out like beef stew. Will he be remembered? Will I be remembered? Is this a worthy sacrifice just for a shred of land? Have the gods cursed us all? If God won't save us, then who will? Being in the fields of Verdun is an odd experience. I haven't been this far out before. If I plan on deserting, I have a long way to go. I want to go back to the good old days when I was more optimistic and hopeful of a better, quicker war. I can't help but feel a little dreadful, knowing I fell for the propaganda. Those lying bastards. Why must the people be the victim in the stupid, pointless war? I just want this to be over. I want this all to be over. War. What is it even good for? I feel stupider than before. How can this be? I fail to see how this war could benefit anyone in the end. The French might get Alsace-Lorraine back, but that seems to be the only plus side. Why must so many die for a scrap of land? If that one guy would have just kept his gun in its holster, how different would things be? Could this all be a setup? Likely not. It's funny how these trenches had more thought put into them than any of the tactics used during this modern war. It's been 100 years, and yet we are still using the same tactics from the Crusades. The Crusades that out of the 9 Crusades that did happen, only 3 were successful. As I am writing this, it seems that an artillery bombardment might be on its way. These Germans fire their artillery about as well as blind men can drive. And those Austrians aren't much better. There's got to be a reason for this insanity. What god did I anger for this to happen? If you are going to try to kill me with artillery, at least hit me with it, you blind bread splitter. The next time I'm ordered to attack the other side, I will be sure to kill whoever is responsible for the artillery fire in particular. I'd rather be dosed in mustard gas than hear another missed artillery shot. 11th of October 1916. I've been shot. I called for a medic, but the medic is dead. Those bastards have gassed us. My digestive system is seeping out with the ribs tearing from the inside. I feel like I'm being split open. The shreds of muscle and tissue turn scaly. My intestines wrap around me into a sweet little bow. My guts flatten into the blood and maggot-ridden trenches. I scream for my father, but he is nowhere. I spotted a soldier, thinking he could help me, but instead his mouth turns inside out, and 8 sharp legs slide out of his sides. His legs pierce my comrade side by side. His neck extends to an unholy proportion, with a massive hole in his neck and tiny legs down each neck muscle. 2 long, thin crab legs extend from his mouth and strike my eyes. I struggle and scream to God as he lifts me up with these demonic crab legs. God help me, please. God help me. He unsheaths his dirty blood-ridden cloth mask, showing an indescribably malformed mouth. Out of his mouth comes a veiny meat demon. My commander begins barking orders. Ihr Idioten, zurückfallen! It's zurückfallen! My commander puts this abomination to nature out of its misery. He looks at me and says, Steh privat auf, wir müssen jetzt gehen! He lifts me up on his shoulder and I stumble onto the muddy dirt. Du bist nutzlos, he says as he leaves me behind to regroup with his men.
But there are things not covered by genetic information. What do you mean? Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not? You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context. Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom. And this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths spun by different interests continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths either clash or mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
This is the way the world begins, not with a bang,
The year is 2029. It's a small bar in Hakone. The air is heavy with cigarette smoke. Sitting in the corner is a young man with a look of unbearable sadness and resignation in his eyes, nursing a glass of whiskey. Someone goes up to the bar, a woman with red hair. She's about to order a drink, but they catch him out of the corner of their eye, glancing in her direction. "Hey, who's that guy?" they ask the bartender. "What's his problem?" "Oh, him? That's just Mr. Akari. He's a regular. He's done some crazy shit, but cut him some slack. He had a tough life." The newcomer strokes her chin in confusion. "What sort of crazy shit?" The bartender sighs. "He ended the world." The broken promises, the severed ties, the lonely nights, the bitter cynicism, the conniving backstabbing. Those bad times become nothing more than dust to the wind when the world finally comes crashing down. And when it does, will it have been worth dwelling on dust? Or would you have preferred smiling in spite of every reason not to? Unfortunately, we're not all built to bear it all and still be able to shine. Our lights dim and life goes gray. Am I in any position to say that hope is worth having? No. But I want to believe that life always works out in the end, if you'd only choose to let it happen. You're the one holding the shovel. Will you dig the rut you're stuck in, or climb the mountains you make for yourself and stand tall at the top? Here's to a good run. May our stories be both happy and sad ones, because living in the sunshine all day is impossible and boring.